A very good afternoon. It is 1 p.m. here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and this is the Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. I am your Ambassador, Susan Nganga. Now we begin the bulletin in the Central African Republic, where hope is rising from the ashes of conflict. Weeks after landmark peace deal, hundreds of former fighters have begun laying down their arms in a symbolic historic step towards peace. Here is the full report. In a historic step towards peace, former rebel fighters in the Central African Republic are laying down their weapons, making a turning point in a conflict that has gripped the nation for years. This follows the April 19th peace agreement signed in Chad between the Central African government and two major armed groups, the UPC and the 3R. Just months later, those groups have officially dissolved. In the capital Bangui, top rebel commanders symbolically surrendered their weapons in front of the president, sealing their commitment to peace. On the ground in Malum, a small village near Bambari, the disarmament process has begun. Former fighters are handing in their weapons, receiving medical checks, and being registered by the National Disarmament and Reintegration Team, with strong support from MINUSCA. Those eligible will be integrated into the National Army or given vocational training to start new lives. For others, programs in agriculture, trades, and small businesses await. Collected weapons are being safely transported to Bangui for official handover to the government, ensuring they are no longer a threat. Susan Nganga, GBS News, Central African Republic. A step in the right direction indeed. Now to an interesting development. The sale of second-hand clothes has been banned in Zimbabwe. The ban, which includes night vending in all city centers and municipalities, will be effective from Monday. Meanwhile, from Zimbabwe, a Nigerian church from the deaf is offering a sense of community to this group of people who are isolated in the society. Here's more on that report.
At the request of Israel, the UN Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the plight of captives in Gaza. El David, whose brother is being held in Gaza, told the council time is running out, holding up a photo of his brother where he appeared malnourished in captivity.
We must ensure that all hostages are being released immediately and unconditionally. We don't have more time. They don't have more time, and every minute counts.
Israel's foreign minister said captives are being starved.
Hamas and Islamic Jihad use the starvation and torture of hostages as evil tools. It's part of a deliberate and well-planned sadistic propaganda campaign.
But Palestine ambassador said this.
We apologize for that technical hitch. That story was a development in the Middle East. Now to a previous story about the sale of second-hand clothes in Zimbabwe. The ban, which includes night vending in all city centers and municipalities, will be effective from Monday. Meanwhile, from Zimbabwe, a Nigerian church for the deaf is offering a sense of community to this group of people who are isolated in the society. Victor Duna gives us that correct report.
From Harare, Zimbabwe, authorities have banned the sale of pre-used clothes and night vending in all city, district and municipality centers, effective Monday next week. Speaking to journalists, Minister for Local Government and Public Works, Daniel Ikagi, says the government has also banned the importation of second-hand clothes. The minister directed Harare City to collaborate with law enforcers to implement the directive immediately. He insisted that street business undermines the formal business that pay taxes. Night vending leads to sale of drugs and substance abuse, posing a threat to health, economy, and national security. While in Nigeria, local church for the deaf is doing wonders for people living with such impairment in the society.
Africa is society. Africa is society.
The deaf church has done a lot for us. In society, we are seen as a curse, but here we are accommodated. We find a community to belong to, and service is conducted in sign language. We love it. It is estimated that 9 million out of the 232 million Nigerian citizens are deaf or living with hearing impairment. Victor Uding, the ambassador.
Victor Stories takes us to a very fast break here at the Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. We'll be right back with even more. Stay tuned.
Welcome to
Fun Dance Class.
Today we will continue learning about Jingle Bell Rock. Friends, first you cross your arm and put it on top of your head, and as you go in left side, you open it, then you come back to your place.
And then you make your leg 90 degrees, and then as you put your legs until 90 degrees, you need to jump a bit. 1, 2. Then as you jump a bit, you need to stretch your hands downwards.
We are going to go straight to the topic of the day, which is AI in education. AI in education.
AI is called artificial intelligence. I think this is something that computer techs designed to make our life easier.
If you just write everything that's on ChatGPT, when you're going to your work or whatever you want to do, your interview, you're going to feel miserable.
If we are going to use AI to show out your creativity, then that's not really you who did it, but like there's AI and there's you combined together.
AI should be just there to maybe enhance your points, but not just to generate for you the answers.
I think it's like 50-50 because sometimes it's like, yeah, you're just using it to like enhance like your creativity, and then other times it's like you're just stealing other people's ideas. You're not like really thinking.
Stay tuned as we dive into the vibrant world of creativity and expression.
Practice your work.
Yes.
And when you keep on practicing, you get better,
yes,
better and better each day.
Yes.
And as you get better,
yes,
you get now that niche of yours. Yes.
What advice can you give to those watching who are in a 9-to-5 job, but they have a gift?
My advice would be,
yes,
do not sleep on your talent.
Yes.
Just show it up to the world.
To the world.
Whether it is art, whether it is music, wherever you are gifted, let the world know what you are doing.
Yes. Which classic artist would you love to spend one day painting with, and why?
Grandma Moses. She started painting in her 70s.
Oh.
And she excelled.
Yes.
As you know, she was a painter.
Yes.
But she started painting professionally,
yes,
well past 70s.
Wow.
And by the time she died in 102, she had done marvelously in the art world.
Hello, my name is Nyabio. I'm from Mahanim. Call this school a good school because the second my mom saw it, she saw it was Christian-based. And when I see Christian-based, that's what the character my mother wants from me. And I like the sports that we play for PE. Like sometimes we play table tennis, we can play football, we match, and on Fridays we have games. And we verse the teachers in football. And this is why I think the school is the best school your children can go to.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now to the developments in the Middle East. The Security Council is meeting to discuss rising concerns in Israel and elsewhere over the dire conditions facing the hostages who remain in Gaza. It follows the release of recent videos by Hamas and other Palestinian militias showing emaciated captives, which the UN Secretary General called an unacceptable violation of human dignity. As senior UN political affairs officials reiterated the unbearable conditions faced by Palestinians across the war-ravaged enclave. Here's the full report by our very own reporter Paul M. Minor.
At the request of Israel, the UN Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the plight of captives in Gaza. Eli David, whose brother is being held in Gaza, told the council time is running out, holding up a photo of his brother where he appeared malnourished in captivity.
We must ensure that all hostages are being released immediately and unconditionally. We don't have more time. They don't have more time. And every minute counts.
Israel's foreign minister said captives are being starved.
Hamas and Islamic Jihad use the starvation and torture of hostages as evil tools. It's part of a deliberate and well-planned sadistic propaganda campaign.
But Palestine ambassador said this.
Israel is demanding the world to take a stance against starvation, when it is actually starving an entire civilian population, when it is shooting at them while they seek water and food, with the most severe effects on the most vulnerable.
Algeria's ambassador said 93 children in Gaza have died of starvation.
They had names. Names? Zainab Abu Halib, a baby who died from malnutrition.
The UK ambassador to the UN also warned that the famine in Gaza is reaching alarming levels.
Last week, I spoke with doctors who had served in Gaza. They had seen children so malnourished that their wounds festered for months without healing.
At one point, Palestine ambassador to the UN said he had words directly to the Israeli people. He said Palestinians choose peace and he hopes Israelis will do the same. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul Ermine.
We'll keep him updated on that story as it develops. And now, to developing news in the United States. Trump has clarified that selecting Kagler's replacement, a role lasting only until January, differs from choosing Powell's successor, whose term ends in May. However, the appointment could influence the Fed chair selection, as Trump indicated his shortlist include economic advisor Kevin, former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh, and two unnamed individuals, one believed to be the current Fed Governor Christopher Waller. Earlier in the day, Trump told CNBC that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was no longer in contention for Fed chair, as Bessent preferred to remain in his current role. Trump also described Kagler's early departure as a pleasant surprise, providing an opportunity to appoint someone who could later be elevated to Fed chair. Kagler's replacement also will initially serve only the remaining months of her term. However, Trump could signal his intent to nominate the same individual for a full 14-year term and as Powell's successor, allowing them to influence policy discussions ahead of a formal transition.
For Fed governor. I'll be making that decision before the end of the week, and we'll either decide on one for permanence or the 4-month period, the term. There's a term of about a number of months. We have a couple of candidates. Everybody wants it, okay? It's not a couple, but we've narrowed it to a couple of candidates. And we've also, we're looking at the Fed chair, and That's down to 4 people right now. Very good. Well, I can tell you because I've already said there's 2 Kevins and 2 other people, okay?
On other developing news in the United States, the Texas House of Representatives remains without a quorum after the state's Democratic lawmakers fled the state capitol to prevent the legislature from adopting a Republican-backed plan for redrawing Texas congressional districts. The Texas House Speaker, Dustin Burrows, signed civil arrest warrants for the wayward Democrats, most of whom have gone to Illinois, New York, or Massachusetts, to be brought back to Austin, as Davis Karani now reports.
There being 94 members present, a quorum is not present.
The Texas House of Representatives remained without a quorum on Tuesday after the state's Democratic lawmakers fled the state to derail a Republican-backed plan to redraw the congressional map.
This morning, I met with the leadership of the Texas Department of Public Safety to get a full briefing on their efforts to locate and return the members who are actively trying to thwart the legislature from performing its duties.
The goal of the Republican plan championed by the U.S. President Donald Trump is to flip the seats in the U.S. House of Representatives currently held by Democrats and protect its majority in its congressional representation, as Professor Kobe Goidau states.
I think Democrats know eventually they're going to lose. I think really what they're saying is we want to show that we're fighting this tooth and nail as hard as we possibly can because this is bad, this is rigged, this is not how a democracy should work. And they want to make that case as effectively for as long as they can.
Democratic governors have also vowed to fight back if Texas Republican succeeds in drawing the state's congressional districts.
We'll do everything in our power to stop this brazen assault.
As far as I'm concerned, everything is on the table.
They've triggered this response, and we're not going to roll over, and we're going to fight fire with fire.
But Goidau states that redistricting the states will not be accomplished easily due to the members controlled by the Republicans.
I think California and New York, there are provisions that make it harder to go and redistrict. So it's not as easy in those states to just say, okay, we control the majority, we're going to redistrict. And so that makes it a real challenge for the Democrats to respond in kind.
Davis Karani, GBS News.
We'll keep him updated on that story as it develops. Now, Davis Stories brings us to the end of our bulletin here at The Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Follow all of our stories at GBS TV Africa. It's updated throughout the day as we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Thank you for your time and company. Have a good afternoon.
Everywhere, GBS. Everywhere, GBS.